Hello there, my YouTube friends. So, like most people in the collecting thingy, I grew up, as you can tell by the way I look, I grew up with the early versions of things. Like, I wasn't born in '66, but I grew up with a '66 Batman. I grew up with a Christopher Reeves as Superman. So I've always been after one, I've managed to get the '66 Batman and Robin, so I was well happy with that. And now I've managed to pick up a very, very cheap version of Superman, because I wasn't going to be paying the prices out for a Superman. They were like, over here in the UK, it's about £500 plus. It's a lot of money, and I'm not willing to pay that. So I seen one that was a custom one, made by Stanley Custom Hubs. Bought from him before. I've got another one of his figures in the thingy there. I seen this one and I was like a bit dubious, a bit thinking that, the head sculpt's not perfect or anything, not even by a long shot, it's not great, but it's got his likeness. It has got his likeness, you're going to see that in a second. It has got his likeness, but it's not perfect. And I just thought, if I can get this at a cheap enough price, maybe it's something I can work with and I can get another head sculpt for it, which is what I've done. And I'm going to show you now what his original head sculpt was. I'm going to show you the body and everything that's come with it, and show you the thing to it, and show you what I'm having to do now in order to try and see if I can make it a little bit more better. But I'm well happy with what he gave us for the price. I think I've got him to reduce it down to about £110. So I mean, even if I can ding it and it doesn't look perfect from a distance, it'll still look really decent. So here is the one I got from the guy. So as you can see, the head sculpt itself, not great, but it does have a slight likeness, but it's not fantastic. The body itself is okay, it's not bad at all for something that's just like him just knocking it together. I like the fact that he's made his own base and put like this thing on here as well, and you do have this thing here that fits into that one. I just don't think it'll lift quite high enough to make it look like he's flying, plus to be put honest with that thing like that, it wouldn't work anyway. But he did give another thingy base, so if you didn't want to use that one and you wanted to use just a flat normal style one, then you've got that. And again, he gave the thing there, but he gave two different styles. I think so you got like the crotch one and the one that goes around the waist, if you wanted to use either one of them. So that was pretty good. Obviously it's got a set of hands on there, open palm hands on there. You can see there, oh, he's going to fall out. That it's like, you can pull the sleeve down and you'll hide a lot of that. It's not too bad, like I say. And he did give us fisted hands, so that was pretty good. And like I say, I needed a new head sculpt for it, because like I said, that one to me just wasn't quite up to it. Sorry Stanley Custom Hubs, I mean, there's nothing wrong with your work, it's just that isn't quite thingy for me. So I did get another one. I got this one, which I think is obviously a lot better. As you can see, I took his head off, and it's got basically a magnet on the top of there, and it do have the magnet place inside of there, so it all fit. So the new head sculpt I got doesn't fit on the bloody neck peg, not even by a long shot. So I was like, shit. I was expecting to just be a nice easy thingy just to put a new head on, and it would look a little bit better, a little bit more thingy. Ain't gonna work, because it don't bloody fit at all. So it was back to the drawing board again. I was like, right, being online, I looked at some bodies thinking, right, what's going to be a good body for this one, and I ended up buying the one from World Box Body. So, and I think this one was classified as a something 12. I'll have to put my thumb here just because it does have it thing here, but I wanted a neck on it obviously because the one I got wouldn't come with a neck, so I had to make sure it had a neck to it for a start. And this one I thought has at least a body that Superman would need. It's not too big because obviously Christopher Reeves wasn't a huge guy, he was just nicely proportioned. Yeah, so I think that is pretty decent. Obviously I'll have to take the feet off, I think, because it'll need to go inside the boots, and I don't think I'm going to fit the feet into the boots. But yeah, look, that one looks like a decent enough body. And yes, I have tried the head sculpt on. The head sculpt does fit, so now it's a case of I'm having to work on this thing to get the suit off, which again, something I've not done before. And obviously when you buy this one, you gotta get a whole bunch of hands, as well as like I believe there's a neck peg as well, a couple of different styles of neck peg thingy there if you needed them. You know, he's taking that's what they're for. So, and that one I came to about 35 quid, I think, for that one. So, you know, all told, if I can get these to work and get them to look half decent when they're on, then you're talking about, for under 200 quid, yeah, thereabouts, almost 200 quid, I've managed to get not a great, not a Hot Toys quality, but a decent version of Superman, Christopher Reeves version, to go in my man cave. And I like to see from a distance anyway, when most people look at it, most people aren't going to be able to tell the difference. Most people are just going to see it and go, oh, that's a good friggin' thing, it's Christopher Reeves or whatever, if they know who Christopher Reeves is, you know, it's Superman. So therefore I'll be happy enough like that until such a time as maybe there's a new one released that's a really good version of it. Because for me at the moment, the stuff by the likes of In-Art are just out of my league, because I would love to get the In-Art Batman, the Patterson version, because it looks amazing even compared to the Hot Toys one. The Hot Toys one would probably Diaz, but at the moment both of them are just it's still at silly prices. You know, they're still way over 300 quid, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna be paying that type of money out for stuff like that. You know, I mean, it's getting to the point now where it's gonna start pricing me out of the market, because I'm not paying silly money for a figure that'll sit in my man cave and I'll only get so much enjoyment out of it, because I'm only going to see them when I'm in the man cave, and I'm not always in the man cave. You know, I'm not going to come straight home from work and go and sit in my man cave and stuff like that. So there's only going to be certain times I'm going to see them. So therefore, to spend £300 plus on a figure, just to me isn't right. So I'm going to like literally start now pulling apart the seams that's been sewn at the back. Yeah, see if I can get this uniform off, get it onto the new one. And what I'll do is, once I've got it all finished, I will show you what I've managed to do, and if I'm sort of happy enough with it, I'll let you know, and see what. But it doesn't matter what you think, because at the end of the day, it's mine. So, but you know, I'm still going to show you, because that's part and parcel of this process. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching for now. You'll probably see this in a few minutes where it'll be done, which will probably take me bloody hours. Hey. So as you can see, guys, this is the custom made body by Stanley Custom Hubs, which is based around the same area that I live. You can see where he's like literally sort of took apart another figure to make the top off of that one, and you can also see there where he's sculpted something on there to give him a bit more lats, but also give him a bit more around the waist as well, which it thickened him out a bit too much around the waist for my liking. Yeah, and the fact that he must have even painted it as well, which was sort of strange, because it was wearing clothing, so it's, unless he was thinking that I was going to pull that tight, that you were going to see the colour because it looks like almost like a yellowish colour. Oh, and my character's just fell over. But that's the thing you like see, and there's the custom head sculpt. You know, which I don't think it's too bad if he's done something like that himself. You know, then it's not bad at all. Just not as good as what I would want it for, and it is something that even from a distance you can tell it's not 100%. You know, so when that's the custom one that he's had, you can see there how all the body and everything was on it. You know, I don't know what I'll end up doing with this. I have no idea at the minute. You know what I mean? Because it's like I haven't really got anything that I need to do with it. But I'll work that out in time. Just keep a hold of it until I can work out what I want to do. Now we'll show you the figure once I prop them back up again. And here we go for what it looks like now. So you see where I've tightened it in at the waist, give him a bit more waistline. He does have a little bit more of a chest than what he originally had. You know, I had to tighten in the waist on the pants, so the pants aren't perfect, but they're still, like for me, when you're far enough back, and you know, all you're seeing is that, which obviously this is not going to be the final pose. I'm going to try and posed up. The only issue I don't like about it is the fact when you've got a fixed neck, like what these are, I can't tilt his head back. Obviously you can see there as well that there's a mismatch slightly with the colour gradients. It's not a huge one through my eyes, but through the camera it picks up a little bit more. So I'll have to look at sort of what I might be able to do with that. There's not been much because I'm not good at painting and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I'm quite happy with sort of the fact that I've got something that looks like a Christopher Reeves Superman now. That looks a bit better than what it did. It's a bit of a shame that I've had to sort of literally just take apart the one that I got from Stanley Custom Hubs and basically almost make it a brand new figure, and that the only thing really left of his, because obviously I won't probably use the base either, even though I like what he's done with this thingy bit of it, and I really rarely use the base on any of my figures. So really it's only the sort of the uniform itself that I've kept. To show you what I've had to do when I've done it as well, because obviously his body was obviously a lot thicker. So you can see there where I had to nip it in and I had to sew it there because it had a lot of stuff left over to make it a bit more tighter on the waist, and then obviously sewed it there to bring it right in so it's nipping at his body to make sure it's thingy. So, but nobody's going to see that because the cape will be down covering that. The only thing that really it could have sort of thingied with maybe is some wiring in the cape to make it so that it could have made it look like it was floating off to one side or something. But the chances are I'm going to be looking at trying to do something where it makes him look pretty much like, just put that foot down a bit more and see if I can get him to stand again, because I don't want him, this is where the issue is when I'm trying to do this with one bloody hand. I need 2 seconds, guys. So like I was saying, I wouldn't be keeping it like that type of thing, because then his arms are hidden, and really he never hid his arms. So you know, it would be back like shoulders. But I want to try and do him in some sort of like flying pose, because to me, when I remember Christopher Reeves, I remember him with his one fist up, held up aloft, you know, which I'll try and sort of show you. And it was something like similar to that type of thing that he often did when he was flying. That's the type of pose I would like to do. I mean, I would love to have done the pose where he's like literally flying towards it like that, but because of the neck, and obviously I've got one camera's in one hand and everything like that, so I can't like show you, but you just have to take my word for it. His head on this thing will not tilt far enough back to allow him to look up towards you as he's flying, which would have been a great pose to do. You know, I would have found a way of actually having him sort of thinging from the ceiling and coming and like sort of flying towards us like that. Obviously, again, the cape as well, you can see it's hanging down like that, which would be no good if he's doing the flying pose. So again, it would have been having to find some way of getting his cape to wire something to his cape to get it to look like it's flowing behind him. But again, like I say, you can't do it that way because his head, the neck being the way it is, it won't thing in the head won't go far enough back, which is a crying shame. But other than that, I mean, that would have been sort of the ideal for us to do. Instead, I'm going to have to try and find some other way to make him look. Just trying to get him to stand right up. Trying to do this with one hand, trying to get him to look sort of like he's doing some sort of flying pose or just taking off or something like that. Which he's going to have to do. But I'm going to watch a few videos of different people's poses and what have you for this type of Superman and see if I can figure out a suitable pose for him, because he needs to be in some sort of way the way he looks like he's doing something rather than just stood there. I mean, you could stand him with his hands, with his fists on his hips, thinking. But again, it's something I've got to work out. It's something I've got to think. But I'm very, very happy to say, at least to say that I now have the Christopher Reeves Superman, even though it's not the Hot Toys version, it's not perfect, it's somewhere from it. But when you look at it on a shelf from a distance with other figures, you're not really going to be able to hugely tell unless you're an aficionado that has the Hot Toys one. There's a dog twisting away because he's just literally come back from a walk and he's knackered. So unless you're aficionado and knowing, oh well, that's not quite right, and this is not quite right, and blah blah blah, then you're not going to think. The average everyday person that comes in and has a look is just going to go, oh wow, that looks cool. You know what I mean? And that's sort of good enough for me until such a time comes when maybe Hot Toys re-release a new version of it, or the other one where it's affordable. Because again, like I said to you before, the in-art stuff to me looks amazing. I mean, I'm not even going to say that it doesn't. I haven't held one in hand, so I don't know how it thingies. I don't know what the stuff's like. I'll see reviews on them and stuff like that, and but that's as far as it can go for me. But I do love the look of the in-art stuff. Just like I love me stuff from Hot Toys. I do know that in-art are making a good name for themselves with the way they're doing things and how well that stuff looks. It's just the price for me. You're talking about in-art figures are not under 300 quid. I mean, they're just really expensive, especially when you consider that they've got to be shipped to the UK. It knocks the price up to just really what I classify as silly money to me. I would love to have them, but I'm not going to pay that type of price for something. So I will always go with the cheaper variant that I can get that looks really good. And so for this, to me, considering it's cost me under a couple of £100 all told, and yes, again, like you say, if somebody looks at them again, well, the body's not quite proportionate and blah blah blah, it's good enough to me, for me, to be happy enough with it. So the way I look at it is, you should be happy for me that I've got something that makes me happy. If you aren't, then are you a true collector, or are you just somebody that wants to fucking prove a fucking point and pick faults with everything? To me, it's like, don't be an ass. The person's happy, good. And I'm happy enough with this thing, and I think it'll do me well for a good while into the future. I've just now got to figure out a pose for it. Once I've got that down, keep in the man cave with the rest of my figures, and I'll be well and happy. Just a thingy, like I say, because I won't have them on this because I never have them on a stand. And I've just got to figure out how I want them to pose them. If I'm going to have him sort of doing a thingy where he's taken off then how am I gonna have him looking like he's taken off on the thingy? These are all things I've got to sort of work out and figure out, and that's all the fun of it. But anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, if you want to comment, please feel free to comment, but try not to be an asshole. Yeah, because I just won't bother commenting back to arseholes. But you know, I do make me efforts to comment on everybody that's comment, especially when they're being decent about it. You know, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. This is the Bearded Nerdy Oaf, and I am out of here.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.
Thank you?
You're welcome.
What? No. I didn't. I wasn't. Why would I ever say that? I mean,